Stories told with pure intention. Every voice gets full attention. Building trust without contention. Stronger through our connection. From La Videa to the diaspora. No gimmicks, just real data. Transparency is our mantra. Shining bright like an aurora. We are the voice you can believe in. Through the airwaves we keep giving.
Again, I'm your host. My name is Derek Yale, and let's get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching us from. This is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. This is the usual time for the Hard Zone. My name is Derek Yale, and I will be hosting this segment. Today, interestingly, we have collaborated with the Multicultural Community Family Services here to bring you a very informative two-part segment. And today, focusing specifically on the issue of understanding pain and medicine, what you need to know about opioids. And then on Friday, make sure you join us back here. We'll bring you another spin of this informative segment being brought to you by the Multicultural Family Services right there in Upper Darby. And just to give you information on the Multicultural Family Services, they've been serving since 2003 in the Delaware County and Philadelphia County. And it was purposefully created to help bridge culture and language barriers faced by immigrants, especially those arriving after difficult experiences such as war or displacement. Very shortly, we will bring you on people from experts in this area to give you information on how we can perceive pain or how we can deal with them. This part is designed especially for, like I said, immigrant adults, and focuses on helping you better understand how pain is treated and how to use medication safely. Today, on this segment, we will be talking about what opioids are, when doctors prescribe them, and the potential risks that can come with using them. While this medication, as we know, can help manage pain, it is important to understand how to use them carefully and responsibly. We have a lot in store for you tonight, and we will be covering that topic bit by bit. And again, if you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, please make sure you are following us first and foremost, and make sure you share this program. And feel free to, because this is very informative, we want to make it as interactive as we possibly can. So make sure you put your question in the comment section and keep it open and respectful, as this is a open and respectful space. We encourage every one of you to please ask questions as we invite our experts to talk on this. And of course, we will have our usual Hard Zone panelists on tonight to be part of this discussion. Again, we have a very beautiful program planned out for you tonight. So make sure you return in to Liberia Radio and Television Network. Before I take our first break, let me introduce the Hard Zone. We've been off there for a minute now, but the Hard Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political institutions, different political persuasions. And here on the Hard Zone, we have conversations from a wide range of topics, including what we're doing tonight. And Liberia Radio and Television Network, this podcast is being aired to you through YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. So join us live. Make sure you're ready to learn more about the issue of medicines and opioid. For now, this is the Liberia Radio and Television Network. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Like I introduced to you, today we have part one of a two-part segment entitled Understanding Pain and Medicine. It is hosted right here on LRTN Network, and I will be playing host tonight. My name is Derek Yale, and this program is being brought to you in collaboration with the Multicultural Family Services, or MCFS for short. And for your information, MCFS provide many services, and it's been doing so since 2003. They provide food assistance, housing support, ESL classes, citizenship preparation, translation services. And MCFS has partnered with so many government organizations to support immigrant family. And MCFS today is bringing you a two-part informative discussion on pain and opioid. So please help me. Let's join. Let welcome our guest and panelists for this discussion. Starting with Mr. Donald Smith. Welcome to the network. You're a familiar face here. Well, please welcome to the network and please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Derek. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having us. My name is Donna Smith. I am the Professional Development Coordinator and Trainer at Multicultural Community Family Services. Been with the program and the organization for almost 4 years now. And we hope that everyone enjoys the conversation and gets involved and get a lot of information.
Thank you very much, Mr. Is it Mr. Smith or Miss Smith? Correct me.
Ms. Smith.
Miss Smith, thank you so much, and welcome back to the network. And Miss Portia Kamara, you also please correct me. Welcome to the show, and please, I'm sure you will do a better job at introducing yourself, Miss Kamara.
Thank you, Derek, and certainly it's my pleasure and our pleasure as an organization, community-based organization, to be here and have a conversation on this all important topic as we see it. I, my name is Portia Kamara. I am a librarian and serves as the co-founder and executive director for the Multicultural Community Family Services. We are located in Upper Derby, and we serve primarily in need-based areas, responding to needs as it relates to home care services, food insecurity, and other community education initiatives, one of which is opioids, lead poisoning, and a few more.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to LRT and also the Hard Zone. Now let's move on to you, that Augustus family. Welcome to the show, and please also introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Augustus Fambulle. I'm a medical doctor. I specialize in infectious diseases. Quick disclaimer, I am not a pain management specialist, but whatever little information I can add to this session that will benefit our community, I am here to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And those of you watching us, you've heard the introduction from the experts we do have on now. We will be having some of our panelists join later on in the show. So if you're watching us, make sure you're following us. And tonight especially, we want you to engage with the program, because the issue of opioids and managing pain in our community is very important. And you will be learning a lot tonight from the experts we have here tonight. And again, guys, just for your information, this is going to be an open panel discussion. So I will be asking some questions. Please, not directly to anyone. Sometimes I will call you out. But if you can share your take on questions that will be coming up, I appreciate it. And to get started, let's talk about Multicultural Foundation Services. You guys have been in the Delaware County, Upper Darby, in Philadelphia since 2003. I know you guys have done a beautiful job describing this organization and work. Well, I would just like for one of you to talk more about this, and especially why this topic was selected to be discussed. I'd like to start with you, Miss Donaldson. I apologize. Go ahead.
Not a problem. Well, again, thank you. Multicultural Community Family Services have been around for quite a few years. And I've learned about a lot of different topics that are near and dear to the immigrant community, the Black and Brown community. And the reason why we're bringing the information about pain medicine and pain, understanding pain and medicine, especially opioids, is because it affects the immigrant community, the Black and Brown community, in big proportions, and we don't always talk about these things. And it is so important that we kind of dispel the stigma and have these courageous conversations within our communities so that we are aware. We're not experts. We do a lot of research, and we, gather information and data so that we can bring this information to the communities.
Thank you very much. And before I come to you, Ms. Portia Kamara, let me recognize the presence of Mr. Dan Kapai Dennis. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you back. And Ms. Portia Kamara, I don't know if you'd like to add anything to or Ms. Smith, to what Ms. Smith said, but she mentioned stigma. I know we're going to get in depth with this conversation, but if you can address the issue of stigma, what are some of the stigmas surrounding this discussion on opioids within the immigrant community?
Well, I speak through the lens of a librarian, through the lens of a member of the community whom we serve, particularly the immigrant community, where when we think about stigma, we think about shame, feeling embarrassed, being shunned. And those stigmas oftentimes come when certain topics are broached. Topics as it relates to using drugs, for example, as it relates to having significant issues around access to medicine or sharing medicine and not wanting others to know that we have a problem, oftentimes that centers around severe pain. And in an effort to try to self-treat, we may use forms of self-prescribed treatment that impacts us in a highly negative way. And if I were to speak more openly, for example, as it comes to the use of pain medication, we find ourselves overutilization of these meds. We find it leading to a form of addiction. And so because we are believe or that addiction does not occur within our community, particularly as it relates to the use of pain medication or overutilization of pain medication, we do not want to seek the support outside of the close-knit unit or core group that we find ourselves connected to. And so when we think again about stigma, at the risk of being repetitive, we think about being seen as someone who is different in a negative way. And therefore, because we are different, whether it is because of addiction or because of other things that are known to be secretive within our community and we do not want to talk about, we find ourselves suffering alone. And that in itself can lead to other serious challenges as individuals and ultimately as a community because it impacts us.
Thank you very much. Now this session is called Understanding Pain and Medicine. Let's talk about what is pain and what we need to know to manage them relative to the immigrant community. And I would like to refer this question to you, Dr. Family. If you can talk to us about what pain is and ways to manage them, Dr. Family.
Oh, well, basically, pain is discomfort that we feel um, either as a result of trauma or surgery that damages our tissues, uh, be it muscle, bone, or nerves. Um, that's probably the best description. And the medications we are talking about are usually used to try to relieve that discomfort. Um, Human beings vary in their tolerance of such discomfort. Some people can bear a lot of pain without requiring too much intervention. Some people cannot tolerate even a small amount of discomfort. And how much and how long people use pain medications for sometimes depends on that tolerance.
Mm.
Thank you, Ms. Camaro. Do you have something to add to that? I see you nodding your head in agreement. If you would like to add anything to that.
Very well said by
Thank
Dr.
you. And Mr. Dennis, I know you're a regular face on the horizon, so I will come to you frequently if you have any question on this subject matter, and then you have the opportunity to do so. Any question or comment, Mr. Dennis?
Yeah, I'm following. I'm familiar with this program through Mrs. Kamara and others, and I just want to ask question as the diet about the pain. So, are we talking about can the pain be treated with medication only, or can it be combined with other form of behavioral therapies, behavioral counseling? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to follow up question to that, Dr. Family. My question is whether that pain can be actually cured just medicine, medical work, or is it can be combined with behavioral therapies or counseling?
Well, definitely, pain can be managed with a combination of different modalities. Depends on the cause of the pain. For example, if you were involved in a motor vehicle accident and you had a fracture of your leg, that would probably require medication. If you have something wrong with your spine and you are not ready to have surgery for that, that will require some physical therapy along with the pain medications. So it just depends on the cause of the pain. If you have, let's say, cancer, cancers can be associated with severe pain. Um, that
And
requires,
that I just want to add a little bit. I'm just want to
yes,
just focus here, limiting it to the topics for discussion.
okay.
Just looking at the opioids. You want to talk about that pain that's associated with it. Can it be treated just with medication only, or can be combined? We're
If
just
I may
looking at the topic. Yeah.
Dr. Pamela, if I may comment, very great question, Mr. Dennis. Can P be treated with medication alone or with behavioral therapy or a combination of both? I think Dr. Pamela said it very well. When pain is a result of all of the things that were referenced, uh, surgery, for example, or just chronic, something that is ongoing and chronic, um, medication certainly is needful. When you have the overutilization of the medication, where it then leads to addiction, we see that. Before I continue, I want to, as Dr. Pamela said, I'm not a clinician. I'm a master level social worker, and I work as a generalist. But so we speak, saying that as a disclaimer. That being said, when the utilization or overutilization of prescription medication leads to addiction, then we know that it is not just the medication, that that is impacting the individual. It becomes a behavioral practice, a behavioral response to the use of medication or the overutilization of medication. And so then I think it becomes important to have a combination of bringing in behavioral therapists and perhaps maybe a continued use of medication, but in consultation with the doctor so that the prescribed medication is only used as prescribed and overutilization, where we see the occurrence of addiction, is addressed through different therapeutic modalities as we know within the field.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank
Before,
you. Thank you.
do you have anything else
Thank
to
you.
add, Mr. Dennis?
No, no,
Or
thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
back. Okay. Yeah. Before we get into the use of opioid to manage pain, I want to ask questions that those in our audience can understand. Just for clarity on just pain that we experience, it's obvious that we all experience different pain at different point in time in our lives. But my question is, at what point do we start using different method and what method to deal with our pain? Is it like every pain that we should go and get medication, or just some pain, or are there other approach to manage pain or to heal pain in a way, or like non-opioid way to manage pain before we even get into the need for opioid? Uh, if anyone would like to chime in, I don't want to call anyone to.
Well, I'm going to jump in, Derek, and
Yes.
that is a really good question. We all have pain at some point in our life. We all have pain, and just as Dr. Augustus mentioned, there's different levels of pain, and I'll give a personal example. My husband and Dr. Dr. Augusta mentioned back surgery. My husband just had back surgery. It was major back surgery, and with his back surgery, he was prescribed opioids. But the opioids were prescribed for a short period of time, and once that time period was up, he went into physical therapy and occupational therapy. So in conjunction with, okay, he's taken the opioids, now we move to the next level. And we all again have different levels of pain, and their opioids are prescribed for severe pain, from our research and understanding. And opioids aren't prescribed if you have a headache. You go to the pharmacy and you can get over-the-counter medication. You may use, in different cultures, you may use a balm, you may use heat, you may use ice packs and things like that. So we deal with pain in many different ways, and there's other alternatives, such as maybe calming chamomile tea, massage, physical therapy, turmeric, and different things like that. And in our cultures, we have many different ways to address the different levels of pain.
And I
Thank
think
you.
it's important
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
to also understand our audience, to have our audience understand what is or what are opioids, right? I don't know if we've really defined that very clearly.
No, I want us. I will get to that. I want us to understand pain, because this. The goal here is to inform the audience. Is like, and you guys can help me clarify this, because I'm just here to ask question. If you have pain, there are methods out there to address it before getting to medicine. That's like what should be what should be sought after. I know most time when people experience pain, like, we're humans, we want it to go away very quickly, and then we run to medicine. So the goal here is, like you guys are providing, there are various methods out there to address your pain before getting medicine. So that's what Ms. Kamara, I want for us to expand on that more, to get that out before we get to actually defining opioids, the dangers, and before we get into all that. So again,
Yes.
go ahead.
When you think about people in general and bringing it home to the immigrant community, which is our audience, having pain, and Dr. Famula would likely uh, nod to that. Having pain, the body is, by pain, our body is telling us that something is wrong and we need to address that. Back home, oftentimes, what are the varied ways? And even here, that people address pain. Some people say, I would just go to sleep. Maybe the headache will go away. If I just rest, perhaps my body is too tired. I work too much in the yard. If I get some good rest, that pain will go away. Some will use cold compresses, right? To say, if I put the cold compresses on my head, ice in a cloth, put it on my head, on my bone, or whatever part of my body, it will help to mitigate the intensity of the pain. For some in our community, we use what we call Temple of Heaven, for example, or different other ointments, mineral ice in the United States. Oftentimes people go to the store and purchase mineral ice, or patches, pain patches, things that are very helpful in sort of mitigating pain and lowering the intensity of pain. So there are the different ways, oftentimes, that people do it. And some would say, I would just pray over it, and if I pray, the pain will go away. Or I will go to my pastor, they will give me holy oil, and I will put holy oil on my arm. So there are different ways that we utilize as human beings, including herbal concoctions. Maybe if I drink this herbal medicine, it will help to make my pain go away. So it really depends on the individual. It depends on the environment that the individual has been socialized in, and what the individual have seen around them, and those practices, be it Western practices or traditional cultural practices, whatever they are that we have seen over time, we utilize. And I think oftentimes I would say as a first step towards mitigating that pain before resorting to over-the-counter Tylenol, and then you see a progression of that. Now, in instances where a surgery or pain is very severe, then of course people generally begin to have conversations, making appointments to see the doctors, having conversations with the doctors, and that's when prescription medicine may come into place.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring this scenario in though. What if, because the issue of fast cure, let's say people that think they experience like pain on the weekend, but they have to go back to work on Monday, and looking for a way, I can't have this pain on Monday, I got to go to work. Or let's say a young person got to go play sports, and it's a minor pain, and they're like, I can't like deal with this on a certain day, so I need to find a fast way to get rid of it. And those people turn to, let's say, Tylenol, or just a fast approach to cure or pain or sudden pain. What do you have to say to people that think like that? Ms. Smith, if you like to chime in.
Well, and I have to piggyback off of what Ms. Kamara mentioned. There are so many different ways we can deal with pain, and let's reference a person who's an athlete, a young person who's an athlete. A lot of times in training, you use ice, you use heat, you use the bombs, the medicated bombs, the patches, and different things like that. You can contact your doctor if the pain becomes severe, but there are so many other traditional methods that can be used, non-medication methods that can be used for pain. A pulled muscle, stretching, icing, heating, massage, and things like that. So we try to help educate us on other ways to support us in lessening that pain by taking the route of non medications. And then if you have to go through the pharmacy and go, I need to get the Tylenol, that's a lot safer than going to another friend or a family member and saying, hey, I know that you have some other medication, let me, I need to use some. And we'll get into that later on. But those are the ways to assist in lessening that pain.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. I don't know if you do you have a question or anything to add.
No, not really. I think Mrs. Kamara just added that. I think in our previous conversation we had such discussion where people in the community, in the immigrant community, will have the intent or the habit of asking others for whatever medication that they have extra that they want to share with them. Some may be due to insurance, lack of insurance, for several reasons. So we just seeing how we will sell this, how we will present this to the immigrant population, knowing the different cultural differences that we're going to be dealing with. But I think it will take us time, but we will get there.
Thank
So I
you. Thank
think
you. And
we're on the right track.
before we get into talking about opioid, let me just squeeze this question in real quick. What if it's just a one-time thing? It's like I got to get this pain out of the way before Monday. I'm just giving that medication you guys just a one-time thing. It's not my habit. What is the risk or danger of thinking like that? If you guys can address that real quick.
Well, again, it all depends on what's causing the pain. Pain can be caused by different things. For example, if you fall down, you're going to have injury to tissues. The pain from that is usually from inflammation. So how you treat that or what you take for that might not necessarily be an opioid. That wouldn't be the first thing you want to jump to. If you have back pain with the pain going down your legs, that's usually pain from the nerve. The nerve is being compressed. And so that's something that's probably going to take something that acts a little bit more on the nerve to try to relieve that kind of pain. Mm-hmm. If you have poor circulation in your legs, as a diabetic, for example, or if you are a chronic smoker, that pain is from poor circulation, not enough oxygen getting to the tissues. So what you take that will relieve that kind of pain is probably going to be different. So again, it depends on what's causing the pain. When you just decide to use something stronger to get rid of pain quickly, even one-time dose sometimes can lead people to addiction.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys, for your contribution on the first part, understanding pain and medicine. Guys, if you're watching us, this is the Liberia Radio and Television Network in collaboration with the Multicultural Family Service. And before we get into talking about opioids, we will take our first break, and when we come back, we will discuss opioid, what is it, how to stay away from it, and we'll learn a lot more on that topic when we come back. Again, this is Liberia Radio and Television Network. We will join you guys after our break.
In our community, we help each other. But when it comes to prescription pain medication, such as opioids, sharing isn't helping, it's harming. What works for you could be dangerous, even deadly for somebody else. Don't share your opioids. Instead, help by guiding your family, friends, and neighbors to a doctor. Real help saves lives. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTN.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamet.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Did you know 1 in 4 patients who take opioids long-term become addicted? Opioids are strong pain medications like oxycodone, hydrocodone, or morphine. They can help with pain, but they can also lead to addiction and overdose. Take the medication only the way your doctor tells you to take it. And never share them with your family, friends, or neighbors. Know the risks. Stay safe. This message is brought to you by the Multicultural Community Family Services in partnership with LRTM.
Welcome to your new home away from home in the heart of Margibi County, Liberia. This privately owned guest house located at Disco Hill provides a spacious home for vacation rentals, including 3 comfortably decorated bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Here, we aim to meet the need of every one of our guests. Do you plan on hosting a meeting? Invite your team to our expansive lounging area, which is perfect for conferences. Let our attentive staff help you celebrate life's biggest moments with your loved ones in our spacious indoor and outdoor event area with chairs, tables, and all your event needs. Whether you're visiting home from abroad or right here in Liberia, we're ready to take your call. Welcome home. Call us now to book your reservation at your new home away from home.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Hard Zone. My name is Derek Yale. And today, the Liberian Radio and Television Network is proud to partner with the Multicultural Family Services to bring you a 2-part discussions on understanding medicine, understanding pain and medicine, and the danger of opioid, what is it, and how we and youth in our youthful immigrant community can stay away from it. Now that we've learned how to manage pain, including non-opioid options, physical, mental, and cultural and traditional approaches, let's talk about opioids. What are they? How dangerous is it? And what questions we can ask our doctor or medical practitioners when those types of medicine are prescribed for us. Before we get into that, let's recognize our most talk about panelists here on the Hard Zone. It's been a very long time, Mr. Martin Boda. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you. I want to say good evening to the rest of the panelists. Long time. We haven't seen the rest of you, and some of you I may not know you, but I'm glad to see all of you and to have a good discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's continue our conversation. Let's get ready into talking about opioid. I would like to address this question. I would like to use Dr. Formula to get the ball rolling on this again. Opioids, what is it? What are they? What opioids are? Go ahead.
Opioids are medications that relieve pain by acting on what we call receptors in the brain. And they are usually very powerful pain relievers. They can, most of the time, relieve most pain. They are generally prescribed in situations where you have acute injury, or you have surgery, or you have chronic pain, such as may result from cancer. Those are the general situations where opioids are used. They are not usually prescribed in such things as headache or a minor trauma. Um, so, yeah, they generally act in the brain to relieve pain. They are derived from natural sources, the opium or the poppy plant, as it's commonly called. The natural opioids are morphine, codeine, and the opium itself. Then there are semi-synthetic forms, which are manufactured by chemical modification of the natural opioids that I've just named. Those semi-synthetic ones are oxycodone, hydrocodone, Vicodin, OxyContin. Those are semi-synthetic. They are made from modification of the natural plant substance. And then there are purely synthetic opioids. The most common that we know in this country is fentanyl. That's not derived from any natural source. It's manufactured in a lab. It's very powerful at relieving pain, but also the addiction potential is very high. And in case of overdose, the effect is also very quickly lethal. I don't know if anyone else can add anything more to that.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. I know that the family already talked about what opioids are, but I want you to add, well, I want to add a question to it and you can address that. I understand, and just for the sake of our audience, the formula said it can only be prescribed. I mean, now, just for the sake of educating our audience, are there other ways that we may come into contact with opioids and how to avoid that if it is not prescribed? If you can add to that.
I sure can. And Dr. Famila did a fabulous job. Thank you. Yeah. And what we're finding through the research is that, in our communities, we share medication. And it was mentioned earlier that, sometimes it could be because of lack of health insurance, fear of going to the doctor. It could be a number of things, number of reasons why someone may share medication. Oh, my husband has, some leftover opioids. I'll ask him because I have arthritis in my knee. Um, we leave our opioid medication in our medicine cabinets in reach of children, teenagers. So those are different ways that people can access. And then it comes to when you get the illegal drugs, because you can't get the prescribed medication anymore. Then you go on the side of, well, I know someone who can, give me something that will help relieve that severe pain. Because, like doctor said, it's that severe pain that only a doctor can prescribe those opioids to manage that pain. So those are some of the ways that people can access opioids without going through the doctor.
Thank you very much. And just for clarity, you can correct me if say this wrong. Stay away from shared medication. Do not take shared medication, and don't share your medication. Also, force on it. And also, you don't needed to mention stay away from illegal drugs. And but let's hear from you on Miss Kamara on the danger of opioids in our community. And then I'll come to you, Mr. Buddha, if you have any comment or question on this subject matter.
Well, one of the things that we want to make sure the audience gets to know today is that we would not be here having this conversation without the support of the Delaware County Opioids Task Force. They, through grant funding or the key engineers, having us do this work. And we do opioids outreach, awareness, and prevention education, working in collaboration with other partners as well within the immigrant community, both African community led organizations as well as Latinx community led organizations. And we want to just say, thank you to our partners, but above all, thank you to the Delaware County Immigrant Task Force and Delaware County Council for making this work possible. And when you think about the use of opioids, and if I heard you correctly, Derek, why do people use it? Can you just reframe that for me? I want to make sure I'm responding appropriately.
The danger of opiate. Why, in other words, why should people stay away from opiate?
So I think we hopefully have established at some level that overutilization of strong pain medicine, and that's what we are referring to as opioids, as per the research. Dr. Fabule listed quite a few. In response to wanting to get rid of that nagging pain quickly, we go to we exclude sometimes going to our doctors for different reasons. Mr. Dennis referred to one, lack of insurance. Ms. Donna said lack of fear. I mean, a fear of wanting to go to the doctor and tell your problem. We then find a roundabout way, oftentimes through friends, through family members, and also through sales on the streets of opioids such as fentanyl. Uh, and we find ourselves using what opioids does. Not only does it lessen pain, but for some opioids, it also provides a high, that high of feeling good, of feeling like there is no care in the world. And unfortunately, those highs don't last very long. But once people begin to love that high, then they find themselves wanting more and more to access those strong pain medicines so that the high can continue. And you see, and this is what we refer to as overutilization of the opioids or misuse of the opioids. And the danger is that because these drugs are given by prescribed by doctors to lessen pain. And Dr. Famula talk about how to use his word, it supports the brain receptors to reduce pain. Well, the idea, if Dr. Famula was to talk about this, is to have this in a very limited scope. But overutilization, overuse, and misuse then leads to people, uh, again, going back to the brain receptors, and I will yield to Dr. Famila here, but we see people becoming very dizzy. They begin to have breathing problems. They begin to have shortness of breath. The heart rate goes up. And the next thing you know, someone is having an attack, and I will have Dr. Famila maybe talk more about that, where the heart rate was may slow, or the heart may stop, or they may go into a state of mind that they have to be revived. And we will talk a little bit more about that using certain uh, methods or approaches. It could, such as naloxone, and one of them we'll talk about. But and again, I will yield to Dr. Famule, and most particularly because he speaks through that medical lens. So the dangers are that your friend, your family member who died because of an overdose due to opioids, because of utilization, because of sharing it. You didn't think anything of it. And in our community, when we share medicine, we don't, and let me speak the real Liberian way, we don't think anything about sharing it. We say, oh, medicine, hey, help me. Now you take it so it can help you too. But every person is different, and the level of tolerance is different. Just because it worked for me does not mean it will work for you. And it could trigger something in my body that could lead to a heart attack, and that could cause death, for example, just one example. And that being said, I want to refer, if Dr. Famula can expound on that more in terms of what are those dangers as it relates to heart health, as it relates to the brain, that can bring on attacks and that can lead to death because of overdose.
Okay. So what we understand about opioids is that, as I mentioned before, they act on receptors in the brain to relieve pain. As a side effect, they cause drowsiness, dizziness. There are others like constipation, diarrhea in some people. And what leads to addiction is that some people, once they begin to use opioids and they stop using it, they begin to experience some of these side effects and they don't want to experience it. So therefore they go back and use it again. And that's basically the definition of addiction. You want to continue to take it so that you don't experience the withdrawal symptoms, the side effects. The immediate danger of opioids is that it suppresses your breathing. So basically, you breathe slow, you are not getting enough oxygen, and if you take a high dose, you are going to go into coma and you're probably going to die. If you survive, you might suffer permanent brain damage. Those are the dangers of opioids.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's check with you, Mr.
If,
Boda. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
if I may just add,
I'm sorry. I didn't
there,
know. Go
there
ahead.
are some people who will combine medications. So, for example, the person takes some alcohol and then maybe take an opioid. That's dangerous. Or take Xanax and then take an opioid. That's dangerous because the effect becomes additive on the brain. And as I mentioned, it suppresses your respiration, your oxygen level drops, and that's not good for the brain. That's how people die.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Famula. Let's check now with you, Mr. Boda. Any question or comment?
Thank you, Derek. My question and would be wanted to know if there is other measure that could be used to avoid the opiate drug, any other method that instead of just always having medication prescribed for people who have pain, acute pain or whatever. What is it? Because I realizing many times people go to the hospital or there are a lot of prescription every time they give you these huge prescription for medication for pain, but that. Is there any natural ways that you can manage pain or instead of going through OPS medication and stuff? If to
Again, I'll if you guys can just quickly address that because I know Mr. Boda came on late. I think we addressed that in the first part. But if you guys just want to
okay.
quickly go over it, Ms. Smith, do you mind just going
Yes.
over it?
There are many ways and I'll just briefly go over them. We talked about them earlier. Some cultural remedies. You know, they have many cultural remedies, Asian cultural remedies, turmeric milk, ice packs, hot and cold packs, chamomile tea to calm, massage, physical therapy, occupational therapy. So there's some cultural things that we have in that I've seen and discussed in the immigrant community that you know being in Western society, instead of using medication, reverting to medication, all the time. So it is important to know that there are different ways you can manage pain. And we have to make sure that we're communicating with the doctor as well, because Dr. Afumo said the importance of, understanding the severity of your pain. That's really important because a back surgery is so different. That pain is so different from having a headache or a pulled muscle, and we really don't know what's going on inside. So yes, it is important to try other traditional methods, other physical therapy methods, massage therapy methods. So it is all about your tolerance too.
Thank you very much. And to those of you in the audience, this is the first part of a two-part informative session from the multicultural family. So make sure you join us here next Friday for us to get into part two. This part will focus on understanding pain and medicine, and we'll also talk about opioid or what they are and also the danger of them. So again, we are at the very end of this first part. I'll just ask one more question and then we'll take our final break. When we come back, I will give you guys the opportunity to close out on this informative program. But before I ask my question, let me check with you, Mr. Don Dennis. Do you have any more questions or any comments?
No, I'm just following the discussion and I'm loving it and I'm getting more information being added to what I already know about this. So I think Dr. George and Mrs. Kamara and Smith, they're doing a great job. It is up to us now who are watching to try to pass this message on to our siblings, our parents, our uncles, and other extended family members on the effect, the side effect. So I think they're doing a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we've talked about the danger of opioid. We've defined it, and you guys mentioned that opioid you can get it through. It has to be prescribed. Do not share medicine and do not get it through or illegal means. Now, for those whom opioids are prescribed, when to stop taking opioid? Because I assume it's a tradition for people who opioid are prescribed. So I don't know if they continue taking it or do they stop when the pain is less than when they got prescribed and they keep that for later on. Can they like retake that? Can you provide some education for those on whom opioid are prescribed and also how they can talk to their doctor on prescription medicine? If you guys can just chime in on that.
What I can say in general is if you have a good rapport with your doctor and you can communicate freely with your doctor whenever you go to your doctor for pain issues, if they prescribe something, you should ask question what they are prescribing. Is this just an anti-inflammatory or is it an opioid? Because they are different. Also, if your doctor tells you he's prescribing an opioid, you should feel free to ask whether the doctor can prescribe something for your pain other than an opioid. If he says no, then okay, he prescribed an opioid. What you should know then is that it has addiction potential. The longer you take it, the more likely it is that you're going to get addicted.
So how do you know when to stop? Because I'm trying to understand that. Like, because if the doctor prescribed it and you take that prescription and it has a couple of medicine or a tablet in it, when do you know when to stop to avoid getting addicted to it?
Well, obviously, the pain you have, only you can tell how long you are having the pain, how severe it continues to be. If they prescribe you pain medicine and you take it for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and you still have the pain and it's not going away, I think it is prudent you go back to your provider and let them know that the pain is not going away. Maybe something else needs to be done.
Thank you. And just lastly, safe way to store opioids? I know we talk about not sharing uh, a medication, but what are some safe ways to save medication? We can do this for ourselves or for our grandparents so that we can avoid people just having access to it that it wasn't prescribed for. If you guys want to touch on that real quick.
Sure. A safe way of storing medication is keeping it in the bottle that it was prescribed. Putting it in a locked cabinet, especially when there are young children around. A lot of times, I know sometimes I'll throw medication in my purse. Well, try to have different practices. Keep it out of reach of children. Keep it out of reach, and out of sight of anyone who comes to visit, and only use it as prescribed by your doctor. And there are safe ways. You can get a lockbox. You can put it in a high cabinet. You can, identify different ways to in your home where you feel safe, and it can be safe. And a lot of times we just, put it on our dresser. We'll be more conscious of where we place our medication, and that's real important.
Thank you very much.
So, Derek, can I just
Yes, please.
seek more clarity, please, from Dr. Family? Dr. Family, what if prescribed opioid and you are not in need of it, and you don't need it? How do you discard it? What's the appropriate way? I just want the audience to hear this from you as a medical professional.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that point up. I did not want to make this very personal, but let me just say this. I've had 2 back surgeries. Each time that I had surgery, I was prescribed opioids. I decided I do not want to take opioids, so I didn't take it. I told the doctor prescribe an anti-inflammatory for me. He prescribed anti-inflammatory, and that's what I took. So sometimes we ourselves should be educated consumers. I know there is a potential for addiction. I know I want to continue to function. I know opioids sometimes may impair function. Some people can take it, they function fine. Some people get impaired. I do not want to take the risk. So every time that I've had surgery and I was prescribed opioids, I did not fail it. I use anti-inflammatories. But every human being is different. People just should be educated about the potential dangers associated with opioids.
Thank you. Just
Derek, if I may come in very
yes,
briefly,
please,
because
please.
when we hear the word anti-inflammatory, maybe some of our listeners may want to know what is that, right? So, Dr. Family, if you can just give 1 or 2 examples of what are some of those
Well,
prescription medicine that are considered anti-inflammatory.
okay. So anti-inflammatories, you can put Tylenol in that category. You can put aspirin in that category. Motrin, ibuprofen, that's the same medication anyway. And the strongest of them are called NSAIDs. What's the name of the medication? Ketorolac. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's probably the most powerful in that group. Meloxicam. Those are probably not anti-inflammatories that people are aware of, but ibuprofen is the most common. Some brand name is Motrin, some Aleve. Those are anti-inflammatories. They are not opioids, so they do not have addiction potential.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just to piggyback on Mr. Dennis' question, I would like to add more to that. I know honestly education here is very important on this subject matter, but what if we're taking care of let's say our grandparents, and we have the education, but they don't, and their doctor prescribe opioid for them against all the prescribe that the doctor says is necessary that they take opioids. Now we're not taking care of them. How do we know when to stop giving it to them? And if we do, what do we do with the remaining medication? How to properly discard them? I think that's kind
If
of
I
what you
may,
asked, Mr. Dennis.
let me
Yes,
respond.
yes.
First and foremost, every community, and I know in Delaware County and certainly in Philadelphia and other communities, there are safe places where unused prescriptions can be taken to and disposed of, not to be flushed down the toilet. Sometimes we say, "Oh, well, I would just put it in the toilet, or I would just put it in my trash can." Well, all the trash goes to a site, and a lot of things that our trash gets recycled, right? So the goal is not to have our unused prescription drugs put in a landfill that gets back into the soil and into our water, flushed down the toilet or flushed down the sink drain. So I look for safe places within the community. You can call your Department of Health, you can call your county council or your borough and find out if they have safe disposal places where unused medicines can be taken. But we want to say, most importantly, when a prescription is prescribed for you, take all of it. If you need to go back to get it because the level of pain remains intense, then go back. But don't take it for 3 days. If the doctor said you have to take it for 10 days, you start to feel better and then you keep the rest of it on your shelf to share with somebody else who has the same level of pain. Now, for those of us taking care of our grandparents, young people in particular, how do you know when to tell them to stop? It is important when we are caring for our elderly to help them and go with them to the doctor so that you are understanding more about the medication they are taking. And if the nurse is coming to visit the home, ask the nurse, ask questions so that the more you understand, you are better able to monitor your elderly loved one, your grandma, your grandpa, your uncle, and to make sure that they are taking the medicine as the doctor prescribed. I think understanding the safe use of medicines, the importance of taking everything the doctor gave you and not small because and now you feel better, so you stop. And then lastly, be able to safely dispose of it by contacting your county, your borough, your city, and finding out where those disposable sites are or locations are. And by so doing, getting rid of medicine safely, keeping it out of the hands of all of us who don't need it. And by doing that, lastly, contributing to keeping our communities safe and healthy.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all of you, Ms. Kamara, Dr. Famula, Ms. Smith, and our two panelists here from New Harlem for your contribution on this topic tonight. This Friday, we will be going over opioids and youth, immigrants, parents, and grandparents raising youth in the U.S. So, to our audience, please make sure you're joining us on Friday. So, for part two of this all important informative conversation. Now, let's take our final break, and we will come back. We will again play this slide for you to get more on what we talk about today. But for now, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through that slide and then have our guests here give you the summary or closing remark on this program. We'll see you after the break.
At Fatu's, we know what it's like to feel a little homesick. That's why we work hard to bring you the very best and freshest imported foods and supplies from home. With quality design African cloths, beauty supplies, and tasty African food items, you'll feel right at home. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Fatu's African International Market for all of your household and family needs. See you soon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the very, very end of our program, but make sure this is just part one of a two-part informative program being brought to you through LRTN in collaboration with the Multicultural Family Services. Now we'll just to go over what we've talked about today. Let's introduce this slide, and then we'll go to our guest for the summary and closing remark for this segment. or have our production team put on the slide. Today we went over the understanding part one, workshop one, understanding pain and medicine, what you need to know. As you can see the slide on your screen, and learning we learn or recognizing what opioids are and when they are prescribed. We identify the risk and danger of opioids, understand the culture and tradition of pain, and you have the list there. Just moving on to the next slide. And just to provide a disclaimer, this slide is is intended for general information and educational purposes only, and it's designed for a lay audience. The content presented is not medical advice, does not replace professional medical judgment, and is not delivered from. It's not delivered from a clinical or medical perspective. Participants are encouraged to consult qualified healthcare professionals for medical concerns, diagnosis, or treatment decisions. Again, join us next week for part two of this informative discussion. But before we draw the curtain to this, let's go back to our guest for their summary of what we discussed today and then give us a closer remark. I would like to start with you, Ms. Portia Kamara, and then we'll take Ms. Smith after that and then Dr. Family.
Thank you, Derek, and thank you to the Liberian Radio and Television Network. I think this has been, I hope, an informative session for all of us within your land and also who are here as panelists. You know, we're doing this work. What we're doing is opioids awareness, prevention, and education. And we have one goal in mind. If I can leave one thing with the community, one primary, it is called do no harm. Opioids awareness, education and prevention is about reducing harm. When we do no harm, we are keeping our communities safe. We are keeping our young people safe, our seniors safe, ourselves safe. We do no harm by not sharing medication. We do no harm by safely disposing of medication. We do no harm by not continuing the use of opioids when we no longer need it. So if we can live with our people in Radio Land, these three words as it relates to prescription medication, it is those words are do no harm. And I certainly hope that moving forward, living here, in an effort to build and support and sustain the wellness of our community, we will do no harm. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Kamara. And now let's move to you, Ms. Smith, to give us your summary and closing on this segment.
Sure. Thank you so much. And Ms. Kamara, well said. And to add on to do no harm, the first step is to have these conversations, have these courageous conversations, because a lot of times we don't talk about this in our communities. It's the shame, it's the fear. So, with do no harm, having open conversations, bringing this information to our communities, our families, our friends, making sure that they understand that they have a right to ask questions when they talk to their doctor. And if they are unsure, it's okay to bring a family member or a friend to provide support. It goes to that do no harm, but understand that you have rights and you have the right to ask questions because your health is important, your well being is important. And the first step into do no harm is making sure you take charge of your health by being present asking questions. And it's okay to say, I don't understand. But here we are having these conversations to bring this education and awareness about opioids, the effect of opioids, and pain, and how to understand these things. So we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Smith. Now let's take you, Dr. Family.
We take pain medications to relieve the discomfort, to relieve the pain. There are different types of pain medications. Opioids act on the brain. They are very useful for severe pain. Um, if you do not have severe pain and if you can avoid taking opioid, by all means, try to avoid it. If you need it, try to take it for a very short period of time and try to stop taking it and see whether the pain has gone away. If you take it, the longer you take it, the more the potential for addiction.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Family. And let's hear from Mr. Dennis. Please give us your closing on this segment.
I think I'm going to set my clock for Friday for the second edition because I'm getting glued to the program. I don't know how the 1 hour just went by so quick, Derek. I don't know what you did with your clock, Derek. It's not yet 1 hour at my end. So I want to say thank you to Mrs. Kamara, Mrs. Smith, Dr. Family. Information was great. We hope that our listeners will get this information and pass it on into their respective community. Because it is necessary that our people within the community who are on these drugs get to know what it is used for. So I want to say thank you very much. And I can't wait for Friday, Derek. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. Let's take our final word from Mr. Martin Boda. You're on mute.
Really? Thank you. Yeah, I want to say thanks to Dr. Family, Ms. Kamara, Ms. Smith, for the informative information they are providing our community. It's very important that we share this kind of idea and have conversation about opiates because it's very important. Because a lot of our people don't have these informations and it causing a problem. And I want to say thank you for that Friday. I'm looking forward to Friday to get more information on this so that we can help. We are part of all our community that we can share with them in our own community so that they can be informed about the importance of these opioid medication that we take at some point in time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Derek, if you come on time on Friday, you'll get a lot of information too. So.
You're breaking protocol to make me look bad. Anyways, guys, thank you all for your contribution today. And if you're watching us, this is just part one. As you heard from Mr. Dennis and Mr. Boda, next week we will be talking about opioids and youth, immigrants, parents, and grandparents raising youth in the United States. So please tune in next week. We will have our same guest here to talk more on that. Again, if you're raising a case here in the United States, please join us next week for another very, very intriguing conversation. And click the barcode up there to leave your take on this program today. And also we will share the link on how you can do the survey to share your thoughts on what you learned from this informative session today. To check us out on Facebook, we'll post that link there as well for you to do that survey and let us know what you think. And also make sure you join us next Friday. But until then, I wish all of you a pleasant evening and have a pleasant night.
Introducing Suku Express, shipping from the USA to Liberia, offering pickup services from Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. Suku Express is very reliable, efficient, trustworthy, and seamless. U.S. warehouse and loading dock is at 54101 Tacony Street, Philadelphia, PA 19137. Contact 267-987-6821 or 267-437-6463. Then in Liberia, at Dry Rice Market, Bannersville Road. Contact 0775 245-666 or 0555-594-53.
Hey, this is Grace, the CEO of the founder Suku Express. Parcel your stuff good, valuable stuff goes in a plastic barrel. You gotta shrink wrap, you lock the barrel, you gotta shrink wrap the barrel, protect your stuff. Boxes, use for use shoes. Any box taller than me, I can't ship it.
With Suku Express, your worries are over. Ship with confidence and ease. Thanks for doing businesses with Suku Express.